So today we have a very special guest, Sneha. She worked at Google. She has previously worked with Flipkart. She has huge experience in recruitment. I'm glad, Sneha, you said yes to come down to Beyond Interview series. And I'm damn sure this is going to benefit a lot of people in terms of understanding and get over the myth most of the time people have in terms of the recruitment. Can you just quickly help with your journey in the recruitment and past companies, basically?
Yeah, thank you so much, Chirag, for having me. Just to give you like an overview, I'm coming with about 6 years of experience. I have had a very lucky career trajectory where I got a chance to work with some solid product and service-based companies, and also cross paths with some great minds which has only contributed to my growth so far. So I'm looking forward to continuing the same journey as well.
Like how to get an interview call from a FANG or a product-based company. Most of the folks who start their career or even experience, the biggest challenge is at least get a call. Most of the people are confident, I will crack it. But how to get an interview call is something which is challenging. Maybe I have faced this personally in past. You might have faced, and a lot of folks might have faced a similar problem. So, okay, with this, maybe let's start with the very fundamental and ground basis. Like, how did fresher get an interview call in the past, and what has changed over the period and in the current era, basically?
Like a seasonal affair as such, because they've definitely broadened the horizon from the past few years that we have noticed, right? Where there has been introduction to competitive internship programs as well, where even the individual is kind of getting an opportunity to be on the floor, see the madness, experience the madness, and kind of know what is in store for them as well. And I also feel this is a fantastic opportunities for companies to come forward and provide the exposure to an individual that they need, because they're going beyond like a 30-minute presentation or a brochure. So that probably is the biggest difference that I have noticed. And significantly, we have definitely transitioned from some of the past traditional structure that we've been following. So I think you and I may remember this, where an academic percentage was sometimes a cutoff or like a qualifier for you to even sit for placements. So all of this is now overlooked, where even the hiring has kind of become very skill-based. And I think introduction to a lot of online assessments also has helped us um, focus on a larger crowd, right? And to evaluate them and see their practical knowledge more than just the theory based. So this is probably what I've noticed.
Yeah, actually, you rightly said. Like most of the time, as people are worried about, I need to chase for percentage. Now it's no longer like you have a bare
Right.
minimum thing. At least you should have a passing cutoff, right? And then
Correct.
let after that your knowledge what matters. Yeah, I think that is really really good. Now the other thing I think question from the audience is how difficult is to get an interview call from a fan for a tier three or you can service based companies.
Right. So honestly, I feel we've progressed a lot in terms of just letting a college kind of define you or your eligibility um, to put you up for an opportunity, right? But at the end of the day, yes, things do definitely kind of boil down to the fact that it is a role specific requirement that we are looking at. So let's say I'm looking for XYZ and I see it on your profile. I will definitely want to kind of give you the opportunity rather than having filters in terms of, let's say, a tier one, a tier two, tier three, or um, a service-based company. That is something I personally keep it aside, and I'm aware of a lot of people doing the same as well, because at the end of the day, it's merit that's going to take you ahead.
Okay, so are we saying now no longer it matters from which college you are, or you are from a service-based or a product-based company? Those are the secondary parameter. The first parameter is your knowledge and the project that you have worked. Basically, that's what we are boiling to. Is that correct?
Definitely, right? Because when it comes to being on floor and just working on a specific project, at the end of the day, it all boils down to your skills and how good you are at problem solving or how quickly you can work around certain things. And I think that tends to come either with practice or with experience. So I don't think there should be other filters in terms of, determining whether or not you get at least an opportunity to be a part of the interview process.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that because that is most of the time, most of the people have myth. I don't have a solid background. I don't have a solid college in my resume. So will I get shortlisted or not? As this is
Right.
going to helpful for most of the folks. Now, again, I'm going to touch upon a very hidden and a very secret kind of thing that it is very, very core to the HRs. Like, what are the different tool HR basically use in order to shortlist candidates' profile?
We've come a long way from being very manual centric, right? Like almost every organization right now more or less has an ATS that they function with. Now, do they rely on just the ATS in terms of kind of figuring out like building a pool or looking at candidates? Definitely not. They go out and use different platforms that's currently available. It's actually slightly difficult for me to kind of narrow down to a single one because A, the market has something in store for you on a daily basis. And B, we can't really look at just one, right? I know organizations that probably look at 2-3 different platforms in terms of finding talent. So it's slightly more difficult. I can imagine a follow-up question from your viewers, right? In terms of then where do we stay active in the first place? So any professional network, let's say LinkedIn, can probably help you showcase what you're currently doing and what you've done in the past. This platform is also kind of giving you an opportunity to also look at jobs available. So as and when you're applying, sometimes, yes, you are deviated to probably a platform that an organization is using, or it'll take you to their career site, which is slightly more easier in terms of just applying for a role.
Got it. So basically, we are drilling down. Like definitely, the platform like LinkedIn is definitely going to be very boom for most of us. And there are other platform like you can go and definitely apply on the other platform. It can be any because multiple companies use multiple tools. It's not just one tool a company relies on.
Correct.
The other thing that you talked about the ATS. Maybe you can touch. Do you want to touch upon some ATS? What is ATS like? How a company levels that and what benefits the company?
Okay, so ATS basically stands for an applicant tracking system. This kind of gives you an overview of suitable, eligible candidates, right? Now, how do they reach the specific ATS is either by applying through one of your channels. That can either be whatever you've opened to and you've kind of linked the whole the ATS as well as the platform that you're using. It kind of brings down your profile there. Now, we can fall back onto this in terms of data to kind of have an overview in terms of, when you had applied or what the background of a specific candidate is in terms of just interview history per se. You can also keep it updated in case you're looking at ATS as a channel for you to kind of go back and lean on to some pool that you're targeting at. Another reason I was not able to kind of narrow down to a specific platform is because it also depends on the success ratio. So like probably people are experiencing like a good ratio for a specific platform, so they tend to stick to it. Sometimes a platform will kind of benefit for a role in specific as well. You also have platforms that are open to women alone, right? So you can find like a complete pool over there. So these are the few things that comes into the picture, but like I mentioned, it's slightly difficult to narrow down, but have like an active profile on social network, on professional networking sites, which lets the other person have an access in terms of what you've done, what you're doing. And also it's like an easy way to kind of start the communication also.
Okay, that means like making your profile ATS friendly is something going to help for big companies, especially because that does not just help to get shortlisted, but also sometimes to track your history if you have any history with the company in the past,
right,
in terms of the recruitment and all. Those are the really great point, I think.